Good morning, this is Jack from Charging the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 30th of December. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals, right? Now obviously we saw the, on Friday I was talking about this little head and shoulders, sorry, there's this level top here. We made the target, and we have continued lower this morning. Now, we do have a lot of positive divergence. We've got possible buy signals, 60-minute buy signals brewing on ES, on NQ, and we've got another one on YM. But obviously, it will need to turn back up for those to actually ever amount to anything, and I'm wondering whether they will. I'm writing a post at the moment. I'll have that out probably before the open. It's mostly written already. But what I'm talking about there is the prospects to go directly down from here. And I'll talk more about those on the RTH charts. So, but in the meantime, we've got some positive divergence here, maybe. We might see it. And if we see a lower low here, we'll actually have another possible 60-minute buy signal on IWM. It's still possible this rally could go higher. But at the moment, I've got to say, I don't think it's looking hugely likely. This looks like a bear flag forming on DAX, and that has just broken down. On the STX, we've got a little bear flag, and that's just broken down. And to be honest, this rally from over the last week has been, well, over the last 10 days has been pretty weak, apart from on tech. This has really been mostly tech. Where does that leave the markets here? Well, I was saying 10 days ago that I was expecting to see a rally that took us through Christmas, and then we'll probably likely see lower lows shortly thereafter. And, well, this is the shortly thereafter. So I'm leaning towards the downside. We could see a last hurrah for the rally here before a likely fell to lower lows that would then come after that. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Okay. Looking at SPX, backtested, well, this is ES, backtested the broken wedge support and made it back into a backtest of the daily middle band. Does this look bullish? Nope, it doesn't. And at the moment, we're failing pretty strongly at the daily middle band. Continue to do that, and we'll be at new lows shortly thereafterwards. On SPX, it looks pretty similar. We actually saw a couple of closes marginally above the daily middle band, but we never saw it with any conviction, and the close back down below was with conviction. We've still got some positive divergence on various charts. We've got a lot of 15-minute buy signals from the low on Friday. We've still got an hourly RSI 14 buy signal that never quite made target here. We'll see how that goes. But one thing I did draw in here was the pretty nice looking head and shoulders here. When we started this rally, in my pre-market video on the Friday the 20th, I was talking about the possible head and shoulders here and how we might form a right shoulder, and this is a pretty decent right shoulder. Not as nice as the one we've got here on ES, where actually we had a high of 6117 and 6107. But obviously it's been slightly complicated by the rolls here, and obviously this has taken 3 months to form. But this is a decent looking head and shoulders. I'm thinking it may well break down, and if it does break down, it would have a target at about the 55-75 area, maybe a little lower, and that would take us between the 50% and the 61.8% retracement of this rising wedge, which is pretty standard. So we've got a wedge, breakdown, form a reversal pattern. This is all very routine stuff. And I'm thinking we may well be heading down to that now. We will see how that goes. I was hoping to go a little higher, possibly retest the highs here, but at the moment we're not seeing much sign of that. On Qs, we got back above the daily middle band and then closed back on it on Friday. We're in an inflection point here. This could fail directly here. We don't really have a reversal pattern here, but if we're forming a flag, then that doesn't really matter as much. And if this is outperforming the others, then we could come down to, let's say, 490 or 495, and this would still be a decent looking flag while we make lower targets on the others. This has all been tech, and you can really see that on Dire and IWM, where really we're not that far off the lows on Dire. We didn't really get anywhere close to the daily middle band. This could be a head and shoulders, but it's not. It's actually not a bad technical head and shoulders. I've got a left shoulder high in about 432 area, right shoulder high in about 432 area. It's just a bit ugly. And I don't like relying on targets from here, but the SPX one is pretty. So I'd mainly be watching that. But I would say there is a technical head and shoulders here already, and it's not bad. I just don't like it. We've got 15-minute buy signals fixed and not made targets yet, more or less across the board here. Not sure how much to read into that, but we could see a rally, some rally today on that. But obviously, we're starting off as though that's probably not going to happen. Looking at the IWM chart, we barely made it off the lows here. Really, this looks an awful lot like a flag, and we already had a topping pattern here. The only one that had a topping pattern at high, there was a nice looking double top. And what did we do? We came back and we back tested the broken double top support, and that has held. This is a very bearish looking setup, and we've got targets below in the 206 to 209 area, and I think they're looking pretty good. So DAX has been weak, back below the daily middle band. Basically looks like a flag formed from the low. Nikkei has actually been very strong and has got back over this high at 40.3k. I think it'll probably get dragged down, and I would note, just on a bearish note here, this has set up a very nice looking potential double top. And we could see that play out. We will see, but I think the chances are the odds are favouring weakness rather than strength over coming days. I'm wondering whether just the low volume and remaining holiday feeling over the next couple of days might hold the market sideways, but at the moment, I'm wondering about that. And at the moment, we're certainly not seeing that in the pre-market today. All right, let's have a look at DX. Still leaning towards seeing a retest of this high. Still looks like a bullish. Still in a big inflection point here, and we could see either a retest of this high and then potentially the start of a large fail, or we could continue higher. And I'm keeping an open mind on that because we're close enough that I'm wondering about a retest of the high at 114.75. ZB, I'm leaning towards seeing a bit of a rally here, but after that, I'm leaning towards seeing more downside. I've got an upside target on TNX, and I'm leaning towards that being made. And my estimate of where that would be on take ZB to is the 104 to 106 area. CL, I was looking for a retest of this high, and we've just retested this. Now, if we're going to stay in this range, this could well be the second high of a small double top. We could see a break up from this range, but I'm not seeing an awful lot to suggest that's likely to happen. I would say the 200 DMA is at 75.5. It's always possible we could go up and test it. It held like a champ last time. I think it would probably hold again here, and I've still got an open target down at 63.75. Looking at NG, we've seen a nice move up this morning. I was saying on the bigger picture webinar last night that we have seen what looks an awful lot like a breakup, potentially with a target at about the 5.5 area, but obviously we've got a seasonal headwind here because normally we're making a significant low between February and April. Not sure we're going to see that this year. Sometimes we don't. But at the moment, this looks like a legit breakup, and we've not seen anything this morning to contradict that. GC, this looks like a flag. We'll see how that goes from here. But I'm obviously watching the US dollar chart and wondering whether a significant move up further on the dollar could take GC lower and SI lower. SI is actually broken down on the index from a decent looking head and shoulders. Have a look at the bigger picture webinar last night if you want to see that. We've got a weak 60-minute buy signal fix this morning, but again, this doesn't look as much like a flag as the gold chart, but it may well be continuing to look more like a flag today. This looks like a bear flag, a small bear flag on copper, and I'm still leaning towards seeing a retest this low, which I've got in about the 4.06 area. Looking at KC, still kicking around here, still likely to have a bid under here because of production issues. So I'm leaning towards seeing a retest this high here next on SB. SB, we have a nice looking double bottom here. I think we might well go lower afterwards, but I'm favouring a rally here. That's looking pretty good. If we see a sustained break up over about the 19.85 area, then we'd be looking at a target in about the 20.6 area. CC, we saw a fairly strong decline on Friday. Now we've seen a nice rally from that. But we have potentially opened up lower targets, and this is looking an awful lot less like a bull flag which is what I was assuming it was before. Now, we've seen a very strong morning this morning. It's up over 1,000 from the low on Friday. I am wary about further downside. And we are getting into an area where I would be expecting to see a possible topping pattern form. So we'll see how that goes. On ZW, we've got nice looking possible inverted head and shoulders. We will see. Corn has gone higher, no sign of real weakness here. We've got a 6-minute sell signal fixed, and if we didn't already have one, we'd have one brewing here. But at the moment, we've seen no sign of weakness, and we're continuing higher. I would say on the bigger picture, this could all be a bear flag forming from the low. On soy, nice move up. It is reaching declining resistance at about the 1,005 area, so I'm watching that to see whether that breaks up. If it does, that leans modestly bullish. On cotton, nice looking nested double bottom on the daily chart. We could well see a reversal back up here, a bit thin on positive divergence though. Lumber rolled this into March. Not seeing any real signs of life here. I'm wondering whether this will just trickle down into a retest of the low. Live cattle, nice move up from the lows here. I think we're probably heading back up into a retest of this high here in the 193.2 area. And lean hogs, this looks like a bull flag and looks like one that may well be breaking up. We will see. All right, let's just recap on ES and have a quick look at questions. Yeah, my pleasure as always, Doug. It's so at the moment, everything I was looking for the rally, except actually I was rather hoping that Dyer and IWM would retest the daily middle bands. But in terms of getting a decent rally that looked as though it was going lower afterwards, well, that's what we've seen. I'm leaning towards seeing lower, and it looks like it may be starting on that today. We've already gone significantly lower in the pre-market that we went on Friday. We do have some positive divergence here that could develop into signals, but I think the smart money is probably on the downside today. And I think we might see significantly lower before we get any kind of tradable low. We will see how that goes. All right, great. Anyway, I should have a post out for the open, so have a look out for that, and I'll catch you later. And I'll be back tomorrow.